My name's Veronique James. I am the founder and CEO of the James Agency. When I started the company, it was a one-woman show. I started the company with literally $50 in my pocket. Started working out of my home office. In 2009, 10, and 11, we grew 100% year over year in revenue as well as scale. And in that scaling model, everybody knows there's some very specific milestones when you're building a business. Processes and systems is a big part of that. And then building the right type of team to support the delegation effort so that I could continue to be working on the business and not necessarily practicing in the day-to-day. I realized last year specifically that I relied too much on tribal knowledge when it came to training and onboarding and integration. I had had some long-time tenured members that had worked with me through the early years of the agency, and so there really wasn't a need for me to document how to get things done. So last year we went through an interesting turn of events. We experienced somewhat of a turn in our team members, and with that transition came this very obvious void of knowledge. We realized that some of the folks that had been with us for 5 to 7 years, they were the ones who held all of that information in their noggins about how to do things at the James Agency. And so overnight we said, holy smokes, we need to build some sort of Bible or practice manual on how each of these roles need to be implemented, as well as an overarching manual about how to be a really stellar team member at the James Agency. I think it was probably around September when I was really feeling the burn. I was 100% sucked back into the company. And what I mean by that is I found myself having to have FaceTime with every single team member within the firm, somewhat course correcting their actions, retraining people on best practices and behaviors, and it was very cannibalizing for me. How in the world do you take all of that stuff and get it into a documented, clean, repeatable system? Just through some consultation and spending some time with some people who had engaged with Trainual, I was sold. It's about, I would say probably about 7 months since we've signed on with Trainual. The fruits of our labor. We hired 2 new people in our client services team. I was excited. I said, okay, Trainual, here we go. We're gonna put you to test. We had them go through the James Agency Day 1 curriculum on Trainual, and the feedback was fantastic. Not only did they appreciate the fact that we had a process in place and they were fully abreast to everything that the company had worked on so hard over the last 15 years, I didn't have to be a part of it at all. And the confidence that I had knowing that both of them were being trained consistently and that they were both receiving the information by way of my expectations is fantastic.